Hello, good morning. This is Bernardo from Kids Our School. Today I'm going to teach you how to check the chemical readings from your pool. Today we're going to start with the chlorine. As it says right here, the ideal chlorine levels you want it to be between 1 and 3. 1 and 3. So the first thing to do, we're going to fill it up with water. There we go. Put your hand in there. What I want the level on my test kit to be, it's around that line. So let me just take a little bit of water. You can see here, it's almost hitting the line. So that's about good. You can work with that. You're gonna add your solution out of 1, 5 drops. 5 drops of solution out of 1. Here we go. 5 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You notice how it's changing color? Let's see how much chlorine is there in the pool. You add the cap. Start shaking it. You notice the darkness of the chlorine? You can tell that the chlorine is higher than the 3. So in this pool, if it's lower than a 1, I recommend you adding 1 gallon for every 10,000 gallons of water. So adding 1 gallon of chlorine for every 10,000 gallons of water to raise the pool. I recommend adding it, and then every 2 hours checking your chemicals until you get it to the ideal levels of 1 or 3. And that's how you test for your chlorine. All right, so we just finished taking the chlorine test. The next test that we're gonna do is gonna be for the pH. Your ideal pH that you want for your pool is between 7.2 and 7.6. For us, we're gonna use this side, fill it up to the line over here with water, just to make sure to test for the pH. There we go. Let me just make sure I have it at a good level. You notice we're right on the line, so it's ready to go to test for pH. So since the chlorine tested higher than 1.5, we're gonna have to use 2 drops of solution 4. If chlorine had tested 1.5 or less, we only use 1 drop. So in this case, we're gonna use 2 drops. There we go, 1 and 2. The next solution that we're gonna add to our test is gonna be solution number 2. For this one, it doesn't matter what level you get for your chlorine, it's always 5 drops when you add it, 5 drops. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure to have your cap. All right. Make sure you shake. If you notice, right now, if this solution was between 7.2 and 7.6, congratulations, you're done with your test. Your pH is ideal. But you notice that the pH is higher than a 7.6. But we want to know how much higher it is than a 7.6. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna add solution number 3. No, solution 1. We're gonna add solution 1. So we're gonna add 1 drop at a time. Notice as I get with my left hand, I hold the test kit, and my right hand, I hold the solution. I'm gonna add 1 drop at a time. I'm gonna shake with my left hand. That's 1 drop. As you notice, it only took 1 drop for it to go lower. So that means that your pH is at an 8.1. You only took 1 drop to lower it to a 7 point, yeah, just to hit the 7.6 range. The next, so let's say your pH is high. What I recommend is adding a quart of acid for every 10,000 gallons. That should lower your pH by 0.1. So in instance, if it was at a 8, adding the quart of acid on 10,000 gallon water pool, you should lower it to 7.9. So you should add maybe 2 quarts to lower it to 7.8, and 3 quarts to lower it to 7.7, and 4 to 7.6. But make sure to check every time you add chemical to check your readings every 2 hours, and you can stop as soon as you get your pH to be ideal, between 7.2 and 7.6. All right, y'all, we already finished testing for pH. The next test is gonna be alkalinity. For the alkalinity, it's gonna be the same place that we tested for the pH, but instead of the top line, we're gonna do the bottom line. Right here on the bottom, it says alkalinity. So what I'm gonna do, fill it up with water. There we go, right on the line, give or take. So the first thing we add is solution number 4. This one's the same thing. Remember, since our chlorine was 3 or higher, we had to add 2 drops. If let's say the chlorine was 1.5 or lower, you only add 1 drop. But in this case, we're gonna add 2 drops. 2 drops, there we go, 1 and 2. The next solution that we add is solution number 5. This one as well doesn't matter for the chlorine. You always add just 1 drop for this test, just 1 drop. Then we mix our chemical reaction. All right, So we already know the alkalinity, that's the mix for that alkalinity, but we want to know how much alkalinity is in our pool. What we're gonna do, we're gonna add solution auto number 1 once again. We're gonna do 1 drop at a time until we notice that the chemical reacts or color changes. So again, once again, with my left hand I hold the test kit, my right hand I hold the solution. So I add 1 drop, 1, 2. So as you can notice, for our alkalinity on this pool is really low. It should be, typically you want it to be between 80 and 120. What you can do, we can add 1.5 pounds of bicarbs for every 10,000 gallons of water to raise it by 10 parts per million, and to get it between range, because the range for alkalinity, you want it to be between 80 and 120. 80 and 120. But let's say you want to lower the alkalinity. What you can do, you can add 25 ounces of acid for every 10,000 gallons of water, and that should lower it by 10 parts per million. And so that's how you check for your alkalinity. Remember, every drop that we did before it changes counts as 10. In this case, it took us 2 drops, so that means your alkalinity is at a 20. And that's how you check for alkalinity. All right, y'all, so just to recap, we want your chlorine to be between a 1 and a 3. 1 and a 3. And for the pH, you want it to be between 7.2 to 7.6. And for the alkalinity, you want it to be from 80 to 120. Doing so will make your pool work the best, chlorine will work the best, and your pool will look beautiful, just like this. Well, I'm Bernardo from Pizza Pools. Thanks for watching, and happy testing.